Good morning. Zamrez, can you hear me?
Yes.
Why are you so late, bache? I cannot see you. Chalo, can we start the class? So, how was your holidays?
Good.
Oh, so you went to your native?
My mom's native.
Sorry?
My mom's native.
Okay. You enjoyed?
Yes.
Now back to your school is reopening from Monday.
Already reopened.
Oh, it already reopened. Okay, so we'll start with a new topic, Zamrez, today. We'll start with your new Olympiad exam that you have, right? Can you hear me, Zamrez?
Yes.
Zamrez, please help me to understand, okay? So you were about to start, you are about to give a new Olympiad exam, right?
I don't think they haven't given like the paper for the fees yet.
I'm not
But
able to
they
understand.
haven't given like the paper for the optional exams.
Optional exams? No, no.
Like
Your
optional Olympiad exams as IGKO, but then they have to give like a sheet if you want to register for that. They
so
still haven't.
you have registered, right?
No, they haven't given the thing yet.
So what shall we do? Can we continue with the new Olympiad portion or shall we continue with the old portion where we left?
New Olympiad portion.
Sorry?
New Olympiad portion.
New Olympiad portion, no? Okay, okay, fine. That is what. Now, Zamrez, for this, these topics will be tough for you. Okay? They are not very easy topics. So you have to be very, very attentive, number one. And for your new Olympiad, I will be only taking your environmental science and your biology. Clear? Your physics and chemistry will be taken by separate teachers. And
Okay.
once we will come back to your school portions, we will resume with your normal science, general science, anyways, I was taking. Clear?
Okay.
So we will start with the new portions. Do you mind, Zamrez, opening your portion for new Olympiad? You have the syllabus, right? Can you open that?
What?
You have the new Olympiad's syllabus, right, with you?
No.
Just a second. I'll share it. I have. Just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
This is the Olympiad, right? You have been registered for this particular level, right? 7th and 8th. Correct?
Yeah, they haven't given like the registration yet. I think
No,
so.
no, I think you will have Harvard because what I read that biology syllabus of 7th and 8th. I think you will be doing this one itself. Now, moving on. This is your portion. Okay. You will have the cell, the photosynthesis, cellular respiration. You will have plant anatomy and physiology. You will have animal anatomy and physiology. And then all these are taught chapters, by the way. You have ecology, biosystematics, biology applications. That's it. Okay. These are the subtopics under which each of these is a chapter. Clear? So we will start with cell today. Clear? Under cell, you have cell theory. You have components of cell, structure and functions of the cellular organelle, functions of the compartmentalization. Then you have prokaryotes and eukaryotes, difference between animal and plant cell. Then use of microscopy to view cells. These are the topics that are given. Have you ever read about cells before?
Yes.
So what do you know about cells?
They make up everything.
Zamrez, your audio is not very clear.
Everything is made out of cells.
Everything is made out of cells. Anything else that you know about cells?
Cells are unicellular organisms.
Okay. Nothing else, right? So first we'll start with the cell today. So first of all, cell is the fundamental unit of life. Please note it down somewhere. You have to write today's embrace. Okay. Let me know once you are ready. Can we start?
Yes.
First point. It is fundamental unit of life. Done?
Yes.
What do you mean by fundamentals, Embrace? Any idea about the word fundamental?
No.
Okay. Fundamental is something without which something is impossible. So suppose if I ask you, what is one essential function that you do in your daily life without which you feel that the day is incomplete or a day cannot happen?
Breathing.
Huh?
Breathing.
Believing.
Breathing.
Breathing, yes. So you think that without breathing, you cannot have a life. So breathing is a fundamental unit for your living. It's a fundamental function of your daily life. Okay. So similarly, for every organism existing in the world, they cannot have a life without cell. Okay. So cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Fundamental means structural and functional unit of life. Note it down, Zamrez. Zamrez, you have to stop me the moment you are not able to understand anything or you want me to repeat it because these are not given in your books. Let me know once you are done. Okay. Now, what do you understand by structural and functional unit of life? No. Any idea?
No.
Okay. Zamrez, what is your body made up of?
Cells.
Cells. So, can you have a structure without cell?
No.
Can any living organism in this world can have a structure without cell?
No.
No. Similarly, can your house be built without bricks?
Yes.
How?
Can
Without
use
brick. Sorry,
can
tell
use
me.
other materials.
Like
Concrete.
concrete, they will also use in the form of bricks.
Shouldn't Like the containers.
You're talking about cement?
Containers, like I've seen houses where where they use like the containers as walls and ceilings.
Agreed, but they are also used in the form of bricks only. I'm talking about the brick structure. I'm not talking about the material brick, I'm talking about the structured brick.
No.
They cannot be made, right? Zamrez, I'll tell you a funny story, okay? When I was in grade 8, no, I had this chapter. So my sir was telling me that without a brick, a home cannot be made. So brick is equal to cell. Okay, so I asked one question that okay, if brick is a structural and functional unit, then what is cement? Cement is also a structural and functional unit. No, a house cannot be made without cement also. Correct. So my teacher asked me to leave the class and stand in the sun for 20 minutes. So I will ask you the same question. What do you think about cement? When I'm saying that brick is the structural functional unit, to join the bricks, you need cement, right? Without cement, you cannot join the bricks. So why do you think cement is not a structural and functional unit? Tell me, Zamrez. What is your thought process about it? Zamrez, first of all, I cannot see you. Hmm. Now tell me, why do you think cement is not the structural and functional unit?
Because of the container thing I told you. I've seen people like the house a lot of like containers, and since they're bricks and do not use cement.
Containers will not have cement. Think about it. Why do you think my teacher punished me for this question? What sin did I do? There was a game a long play time back where you had to put one brick over the other and make a building. Did you ever play that?
Tetris.
Constructors or something, architecture or something was the name of the game.
It's
Yeah.
probably some
Huh?
non-popular game.
Non-popular game.
You can use other things instead of cement.
Like, think of it. You cannot use sand because sand will slip. So bricks will fall off. You cannot use a glue because glue will not stick a brick.
Hot glue. Tar.
It will not stick. It will not stick. I'll give you an idea. Zamrez, you know how a brick looks like, right? Do you know how a brick looks like?
Yes.
Okay. If you're putting one brick over another and over another, over another, don't you think you're creating a structure? Not a strong one, but at least a structure. If you're putting one brick over another brick, over another brick, over another brick, you're building a tall structure, right? Yes or no?
No. Yes.
But am I putting cement in between?
No.
Cement is just to make the structure stronger, right? So that if wind comes, earthquake comes, it doesn't fall. That is the use of brick, right? But if you go to very deep into villages, they don't have that much of money to buy cement. So what they do, they just keep one brick over the other brick and over the other brick and make a structure that's not strong. Wind comes, it falls. But somehow they manage to make it. So that is also a structure, right? So you can have a structure without a cement, but you cannot have a structure without brick. Because if you put cement, for putting cement also you need a hard background, right? The hard background has to be brick. So you can have a structure without, you cannot have a structure without brick. So brick, for making any kind of a house, you need brick. Without brick, structure of a house is impossible. Similarly, you cannot have an organism without a cell. Now, when I'm talking about this, there is one contradictory statement that I'll give you. Viruses are acellular organism. Have you heard of viruses? Viruses do not have cell. But are they living? Are viruses living organism?
Yes.
But what did I tell you? That for any organism to being living, they need to have cell. But at the same time, I'm saying that viruses are acellular. They are in the form of crystal. I'm giving two contradictory statements. How is it possible?
It's an exception.
No. Have you seen salt?
Yes.
Okay. So when a virus is outside a human body, when a virus has not entered a human body, when it is outside the human body, it is non-living. So it is acellular. It is in the form of a crystal, like a salt crystal. Okay. The moment it enters inside our body, it becomes living. That's a mystery of nature. We are still researching about viruses. Viruses are a mystery organism. Because outside body, they are non-living. The moment they enter our body or any kind of living organism's body, they become living. Okay. So viruses are the only exception of this situation that I gave. But apart from that, all living organisms are made up of cell. And without cell is not only their structural unit, but also their functional unit. Just now you told Zamrez that for you, your fundamental unit of your fundamental function will be respiration, right? Without breathing, you cannot have a day. So which part of your body do you think is respiring? Which part of your body do you think is respiring? Any ideas, Zamrez? Zamrez, where is your attention, bacha?
Can you repeat what you said, ma'am?
You were not attentive. Why?
My headphone, like, thing just like went off a bit.
Remove your headphone. Remove your headphone. I am loud enough. You will be able to hear me.
Okay, I can't hear you now, but then if I put this thing back.
Yeah, I'm saying that you just now told that you need to breathe to have a proper day, right? You cannot have a day without breathing. So, breathing is a fundamental function for your life, right? So, which part of your body do you think is breathing? Is respiring, rather?
All the cells.
Very good. All the cells. So the respiration takes place inside the cell. Respiration is a cellular process. And when the cells are respiring, when the cells of your respiratory systems are respiring, only then you are able to breathe. So whatever functions you do to be alive, be it digestion, be it respiration, be it excretion, be it anything, whatever you do for your living is actually performed by the cells of your body.
I think excretion might be a non-fundamental right because you can just do surgery and take out the waste.
Okay, but can you go to surgery every day? Zamrez, Monday, surgery time, you need to excrete.
Yeah, but then it's still possible.
That is what. When your
No,
body.
like you'll hold it for like every 1 month or something like it, and then you'll go.
Okay, Zamrez, do you sweat?
Yes.
Sweating is also excretion. Sweating is also a type of excretion. Can you control that?
I would have 1,000 fans on my face every day.
You will live in AC world then, where everywhere it is centralized air conditioned situation. Then Zamrez, you will not sweat, right? Not only that, you have to excrete. If you don't excrete, you will die. You, I'll tell you why. Because what we are excreting, we are excreting nitrogenous product, which is a poison for our body. If it is accumulated, no Zamrez, you will not survive for long. It will become cyanide and you will die. Any living organism cannot have excreta for a long period of time.
Cells don't excrete.
Sorry?
Cells don't excrete.
Cells excrete. Cells excrete carbon dioxide. Cells excrete a lot of waste nitrogenous products. You will learn about it now
Actually, there's poop in
gradually.
my body everywhere.
Yes. In every part of your body, there is poop. Chee. It's gross. Chalo, can we continue the further topics?
Also, I didn't take extra time.
You want extra time?
No, I'm just asking.
I have one more class. We'll do one thing, Zamrez. When did you join?
10:30.
10:30. I have class from 11:30. What I will do, I'll take your class till 11:20, okay? You don't want extra time. Padmas. Let's start our discussion. Chalo. You can read it. Cell is the structural and fundamental unit of all living organisms. That means that all living organisms are made up of cell and it behaves as a basic building block of any kind of organism. Clear? I hope the first line is clear. Now, second point says that it is the smallest component of an organism, which is
Isn't it atoms? I mean,
it is
electrons.
mm, atoms, electrons will be discussed in the part of chemistry.
Yeah, but then it's the smallest thing in our body.
Cells are biologically considered to be the smallest entity, biologically. But I know there are more components of it, but biologically, the limit that they have given, see, biology do not consider anything that cannot be seen. Okay, we have seen the smallest entity as cell. So cell is considered to be the smallest unit for a living organism. Chemically, you have molecules, you have electrons, you have protons, you have plasma. Okay, clear? Now, the next point that it speaks is very, very important. It is capable of independent existence. What do you mean by independent existence? Zamrez, what do you mean by independent existence of a cell? Can you note down this point, the third point? A cell is capable of independent existence. Write down, Zamrez. Zamrez, can you hear me? Please write down this line. Cell is capable of independent existence. Cell is capable of independent existence. What do you mean by this, Zamrez?
Doesn't depend on other things to
Can you give me an example of such organism that do not depend?
decomposes.
Have you heard of an organism called amoeba?
Yeah.
Amoeba is a single-celled organism. Have you any idea about it? Do you have any idea?
It's the first line of defense in the immune system.
If I talk of amoeba, amoeba is made up of one cell. Okay. Now, that one cell is responsible for its living. So the single cell is doing all type of processes that is important for the organisms to live. Clear? Similarly, our body are made up of millions and millions of cells. If you take out any cell and ask it to survive, it will survive. Clear? Clear? Can we move to the next topic? Next, every organ of our body, the cell, the brain, the muscle, or even the bone, are composed of hundreds and thousands of cells. Nothing to explain here. Similarly, every part of a plant, the flower, the root, the stem, the leaf, everything are made up of millions and millions of cells. So, everything in the world are made up of cells. Every cell has its own life. Old and weak cell in the body continuously die and are replaced by new cells. So whenever our one of the cell become old, they will be replaced by the new one. Okay. And remember this, every organism start their life from a single cell. What was the single cell for us when we were also there? When our genesis happened, we started our life from a single cell. You know what is the name of that single cell? Zamrez, do you know the name of that single cell from which we became what we are today?
Cells.
Sorry?
Amoeba.
We were amoeba? When you were
Yes, that egg thing.
zygote. We call that single cell stage as zygote.
It's an egg in the woman's reproductive system, right?
No, when egg and sperm they fuse, they form zygote. From a zygote, what is formed? Human baby. Okay?
Also, what happens if a baby stays in the mom's stomach for 10 months? If it start
9
eating the
months.
mom, yeah, but what if they're in there for 10 months? I know that's very late and stuff. And I think they eat their mom's poof. Yeah,
they,
because
they
they,
they
and
don't eat
because
their mom's poop. Why will
no,
they eat a mom's poop?
because they're fully developed and then they just like do stuff.
They don't eat mom's poop. See, they will never eat mom's poop. I will explain to you that also.
No, no, when they're in the body, like
They
the
are in the
chicken.
body, but they are not there in the stomach. Stomach is in different position. Stomach, excretory system, they're different position. When we were small, we were there in a different pouch. Our pouches were separate.
Does
Okay.
the fetus start eating the mother's food after 10 months?
First of all, the child stays inside the body for 9 months, not for 10 months. Zamrez, can we come back to the discussion, please?
Okay.
Done, Zamrez?
Yeah, apparently not. Well,
Zamrez, can we discuss, please?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So zygote is the single cell from which a human body has developed. Okay. So whatever be the organism, howsoever complex the organism is, the organism will always develop from a single cell. Okay. Clear? So initially we were unicellular.
What about viruses?
That is what I told you. For whatever discussion we are doing now, that will exclude virus from our discussion because virus's life cycle is very different. Okay, I'm talking about all the living organisms except virus. Okay, clear? Can we proceed further?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, cells are so microscopic. Okay. Next point, write down. Cells cannot be seen
Without a microscope. In the naked eye, I'll just can't be seen in the
with
naked eye.
naked eye.
But then, but
We
then in the future, I think humans are gonna advance microscopes so that you can see atoms. So that the
Mhm.
smallest, so that the smallest independent thing is gonna be an electron.
Yes. We need microscope to visualize cell. Note this down. Now we will be talking about microscopy. Note this down. Note this point down. We need microscope to visualize the cell. I'm giving you notes, Zamrez. I will not be able to give you notes after this.
Need microscope. Done.
Done?
Yes.
Now we will be talking about the history and the discovery of cell and the microscope parallelly. Clear? So the first microscope was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Write down. First microscope was developed by Antony van Leeuwenhoek. You can get the spelling from here. Quickly.
I just put Anthony Van because in Olympiad exams is
You can write Leeuwenhoek. They will give you a question from Leeuwenhoek. Done? And you can mention the year also because this is what they will ask you in Olympiad maybe.
he lived an exact amount of 100 years.
Sorry?
He lived exactly 100 years. Wait, no, 90.
Yeah, why are you behind his life?
It's impressive to live to 90.
See, that is why he has done so much of discovery. Done? Now, if you look, this microscope that you can see in your screen, was the microscope developed by Leeuwenhoek. This microscope. This was his microscope, a pocket-sized microscope. Then can we discuss? You can observe this picture, Zamrez. This was Leeuwenhoek's microscope. Okay. So if you see, Zamrez, are you attentive, bache?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now his microscope had only one lens here. This was his only small lens. And this was a biconcave lens. You know what is a biconcave lens?
Lens that is in the shape of a cell.
Shape of a cell.
Yeah, because like in the shape that is moments cells look like this.
No?
Like this side. Yeah, more or less correct. And this is the biconcave shape.
No. You Google what's a biconcave lens. Have you checked?
A type of lens with two concaves or inward curving surfaces making a thinner at the edges. This causes the light passing through to diverge to spread out, making a diverging lens.
So what is the shape of a biconcave lens? It is like this, which has two concave sides. Okay, this is the first concave side, the second concave side. Clear? This is a biconcave lens. Am I clear? Please note this down somewhere. Leeuwenhoek's microscope was made up of biconcave lens. Leeuwenhoek's microscope was made up of biconcave lens.
Yeah.
And is called simple microscope. And is called simple microscope. Done. So this is how it was seen. So if you put your eye here near the lens and you put so there will be, see, there is a sample holder. Sample holder is a pin. Okay. So whatever you want to observe, whatever sample you want to observe, you will put it here in front of the lens. And you will put your eyes here and see. And it will give a magnified image. Magnification up to what extent? The magnification is 200x. Okay, so it can magnify the sample that you are keeping up to 200 of its size. Clear? That was its magnification power. So here you can please write down Leeuwenhoek. Note this down, please. Simple microscope. Biconcave lens. 200x magnification. Note these 3 points. Done?
Yes.
So this is how it was being looked of. Now there was a second. After this, Robert Hooke also created another microscope. So first one was done by Leeuwenhoek. After this, Robert Hooke discovered another microscope. Zamrez, please mute yourself. Zamrez, please mute yourself. Okay. So Robert Hooke created another microscope in the year 1635 to 1703. Okay. Now, very contrasting, if I talk of Leeuwenhoek's microscope, that was a simpler one. So it had only one lens, one biconcave lens. Okay. Here in Robert Hooke used an advanced one and he used two lenses. Okay. And this microscope was called the compound microscope. The previous one was the simple microscope, right? Robert Hooke microscope was a compound microscope. Clear? So his mechanism was little different. Okay. So what did he do? He had a water flask here, a flame here, oil reserve here. Okay. And he put the sample. If you see the sample, he will put the observable sample here. Okay. With the help of the flame, what will happen? The sample will get light. To observe anything, you need light, right? Without light, you cannot observe anything. So the flame of this light source will provide light to the object. And this particular lens, the small lens, was known as the object lens, objective lens. And the bigger lens is known as the eyepiece. Clear? Am I clear? And there was one more lens here. What was the work of this lens? It would see if there is a flame here and if I have a lens here, flames will scatter like this, right? The work of a lens is to converge all the water lens and to put it on the object. So this lens will converge all the light rays on the objective. I cannot hear you.
What's the use of the oil reservoir?
Oil will allow the light to be lit for a long period of time.
But
Are you saying something?
yeah, but then can't the DST easily be controlled by just
Sorry?
giving? But this I cannot think.
Can I proceed?
Yes.
Okay. So the main difference between both these microscopes is the number of lenses, the magnification obviously, and the way it was being observed. Okay, you can read here. Hooke examined a thin slice of cork under this microscope and observed that it was made up of tiny box-like compartments piled together and reminded him of the room or the cell of a monk of a monastery. And thus he said that the cork was made up of cell. The cell which Hooke saw were all dead and they had only empty boxes on the wall. Clear? The ordinary compound microscope of today is generally the improved design of the original Hooke's microscope. Okay, so what has happened is the first microscope was Leeuwenhoek's microscope. That was very preliminary. Now, if you go to your lab, you will find certain microscopes kept in your biology lab. I think you might have observed, right? So they are the advanced version of this compound microscope that Hooke has developed, Robert Hooke have developed. Okay, so he was the pioneer of the microscopes that is there in your lab. Clear? They all are compound microscopes having two lenses. It is just that now we do not let light outside. We have a mirror here with which we allow the sunlight to get reflected to our microscopes. Clear? Any doubts? Now, what is the magnification of this compound microscope? In the simple one, the magnification was 200x. Here, the magnification is 1000x. Tripled almost. No, sorry, into 5 times. Not into into 5 times.
Quintupled.
Into 5 times. Okay, so write down. You will write a difference here. Robert Hooke. Last point. Done? I cannot.
Ending the
I cannot hear you.
Are you ending the class?
Yes, yes, yes. I'll end the class now.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.